Boy, we're flying through the chapters now. Though there is like 18 of them, I believe. So this is about halfway through. Your performance at the Palladium was interrupted by Atticus Daly, Minotaur, who was in his cups as well as in the chips. After a heart-to-heart at the Velvet Rose, you relieved him of his winnings, only to lose that money after getting bushwhacked by Molly's chief goon Jemmy. Just before dawn, Vay gave you his take on the killer's latest victim. Mahogany and gold trim trails along the wallpaper.
Thanks, Brandit.
Oh, hey, Seventh Bread. Thank you for the follow. Don't mind if I lurk? I don't mind at all. I secretly think the world is revolved by lurkers. I heard a subscriber notification or some sort of alert, but I see nothing. Everybody who does everything, thank you deeply. The electric lamps are at the forefront of technical design, retrofitted wait, hang on. Yada, yada, yada. Where was I? Okay, I'm Clara Reed. I'm waking up at this ritzy hotel that I live at. Telescope and other homespun necessities clash with the ornate decorations of the suite. Their clientele, including tenor Cunningham, of seemingly bottomless pockets, you can well afford the monthly rate. The suite is as temporary a residence as any you've ever had since you left America, allowing for an escape from the chaos of London, while at the same time never feeling exactly like home. Nothing like a good rest after a night of disappointment. Is this an old or indie game? Because I've never heard of it. It's actually brand new. I can't remember if it came out this month or last month. Maybe even December. But like it was in the last couple of months this came out. For some reason, it didn't take off. A lot of people have been looking for a game like Disco Elysium for years, and this is the closest one to it, I hear. But yeah, steampunk, fantasy, murder mysteries. It's pretty good so far. I'm invested. Nothing like a good rest after a night of disappointment. Mr. Chalamet Duval's promised missive seems to have arrived. Did Sori slip the letter beneath my door? Or perhaps one of Yves's mystery colleagues is to blame? Ooh, brand new? Maybe it's because Pal Worlds and other big games? Yeah, I think it came out... It might have come out at the exact same time. I want to say it was closer to Rogue Trader than Pal Worlds' release. But yeah, there have been some big games as of late. No point putting it off, I suppose. Miss Clara Reed, perhaps hasten to the Velvet Rose at your first earliest convenience. It is with deepest regrets and condolences that I must inform you of the passing of one Ariana Luttrell sometime after midnight last evenings. Signs indicate that the death is connected to the work of the courtesan killer. Respectfully, I would urge you to consider what we spoke of last night. My employers greatly desire your presence at the Rose, as well as your assistance in inspecting the body. Please do not delay. My sympathies for the loss of your peer. Yours, Yves Chalamet Duval. The passing of Ariana Luttrell, I suppose it was inevitable that this butcher would venture close to home eventually. But nonetheless, Arya. So it's above. I'm so sorry. The frigid bastards. I need to remember my situation. I need no reminder of my situation. I'll make my way to the Rose then. I'm embroiled in this, whether I like it or not. Let's see. Anything in my traveling trunk that I can take with me? Won't be long, trunks. We'll make it out. Nah. But yeah, I'm enjoying this game so far. I'd really like to see how it plays out for other people. I watched somebody play for a little bit, and, oh, someone's here. To finish my point, somebody else, like, failed to put on, like, a Dachshund uniform, tore it, and then had to, like, go through this whole side thing with the laundromat lady. So, like, there's a ton of variety what happens with everybody. So even if you watch me play all the way through, chances are your playthrough will be entirely different. What's Iron Bear doing here? It's rare to see him without a tenor nearby. Iron Bear, good morning. What brings you here tonight? I thought tenor didn't require my services until this evening. That is correct. However, with the event of the night previous, Cunningham thought my services as a bodyguard might be more useful elsewhere. Egad, his word spread so quickly. It was London, of course it has. Tenor can be overbearing. I'm lucky this is all he did. 19% chance. Convince Iron Bear I don't need a minder. Yeah, I didn't think so. This isn't a text-based story game, huh? This is a text-based story game. Yeah. So, as far as I can tell, there's no action or like no gameplay aside from that. It's like a point-and-click murder mystery. There is a weird tarot deck choice system, which kind of like affects your dice rolls. It's basically just rolling the dice in conversation to see how your story goes. Pretty good. Just, you know, fun choose your own adventure novel, which I appreciate every now and then. I like the story. While I appreciate your concern, I must stress that the events of last night shall not be repeated. Please convey my greetings to Tenor and assure him that I will see him this evening. It's good to see you are well, Miss Reed, but you are not my employer. Oh dear, he doesn't sound happy. I seem to have offended him. Or he's less than pleased with Tenor's orders himself. No way to know, but I must be able to conduct my own affairs. Did Tenor require that you remain glued to my side? He failed to specify. Well, in that case, I have things I must do today, and I'm certain you do as well. Cunningham is concerned for your well-being. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he'd included himself in that. Suggest a compromise. Look, since I'm sure you have better things to do than follow me around, what if we agreed to meet later at the tavern? I do believe that could be arranged. Thank you, Iron Bear. Truly. Good day, Miss Reed. My kingdom for some respite from all of this. It is quite a good story-based game. It really is. I'm enjoying it. Like, the reviews are very positive for this. Like, at least 90% positive. Hello again. Ask about the courtesan killer. You keep up with the news story? I don't suppose you recall any strange visitors last month. It's about that girl. Hannah, was it? The one who turned up dead last month. You remember her? Of course I do, the poor dear. She was staying with us in one of the less fancy rooms for a spell. I believe she was killed in the hotel itself. What? Really? Saints, that's a chilling thought. Apparently some residents heard quite a scuffle at the night of the murder. Suppose it's possible, the poor dear. I had no idea. Did she have any visitors the night of the murder? Her specifically? I'm afraid not. Plenty of people in and out that night, though. Damn. What happened to her personal effects after the crime? The bobbies took most of it after the fact, except for a few bits and bobs. Sawyer produces a worn hairbrush with a carved ivory handle from a drawer set within the reception desk. This was hers? Might be a titch morbid, but I've been using it myself. Truth be told, it's yours if you'd like. You need it for evidence or some such. You were using a dead woman's hairbrush. Sori shifts uncomfortably. Well, it's not like she was using it, was she? Couldn't let it go to waste. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Sori blushes, high and fierce. Oh, like you're any better. Better to change the subject, though I'm glad the brush is in my possession now. If I have any further questions, I'll be back. Of course, Miss Reed, I'll be here. It's really good for casual play and the rest of the competitive, rest from competitive games, which I enjoy sometimes. And it's making using my imagination, which is pretty good for your mind. Yeah, making you, yeah. Yeah, it really is. Like, I've gotten really into casual and cozy games. I'd almost consider this a cozy game. Like, who doesn't enjoy a good murder mystery? Some of the topics are a little sad and stressful. But I mean, like, all I'm doing is reading a book. And I enjoy that from time to time. Let's see. It's Tessica. Are you the Corzine killer? Clara Gingercake. Is it? It is you. What are you doing here? Tessica, my dear. Good to see you, though. I'm afraid I'm pressed by some rather dire business, and I haven't the time for a proper chaff. Seems you do little else than chase dire straits these days, Dove. Still, I've never known you to stub an invitation. What's surprising about this business in particular, if you permit my curiosity? Perhaps it's best to confide in good Miss Lincoln, sitting all day in the atelier of humanity. One must hear for their fair share of gossip. Or perhaps I should keep those not already embroiled in this case at arm's reach. It's likely paranoia, but it wouldn't do to drag Tessica in it without cause. Oh, I'm gonna confide in Tessica. I assume she's not the murderer, but she might have heard something. Out here among the crowds, I'm sure an astute ear could learn all sorts of things. I hear my share of canards, that's quite true. I'll cut to the quick then. The gumshoe has enlisted my help in the dispensation of justice for the courtesan killer. Oh? What have you seen? Have you seen anything amiss? Any poly? What's a poly? Long-term sex worker. A poly with an old beau that seems a jealous type? Johns who employed the service of one of their victims? Perhaps some pestilent creature with 7 eyes out to maul and dismember the honest workers of the night? I am afraid I know many of the former, far too many to be of use. As the latter, well, I should count my lucky stars that the worst I've seen of late was the sickly-looking domovoi, Slavic household spirit, on a bender. Somehow I doubt that's relevant to your case. Domovoi, you say? Oh, it was quite the encounter when one takes commissions for portraiture of the man or house. I've learned one should first ask if there are any house spirits with a predilection to pop in and on guests in the water closet. Scandalous. Don't look so down, Gingercake. I think I might have something of use all the same, though I need a promise from you first. A promise? I don't doubt your character, Dove, but I worry what might happen should word get out that I have information on the case, from the bobbies or from the killer themselves. Can I trust you keep my name off your lips, even if the mutton shunters demand it? You have my word. Ugh. It will take more than some grandois bully to cow me into sharing my sources, Miss Lincoln. Trust you well enough, Dove. Whether or not it's the brightest thing to do, but the London brass have their ways. Not all of them relying on barbarity. You're not the only one with the gifts of paranatural variety in our fine city. I may have a minor knack for seeing spirits in the supernatural, but it's not one I have desire to hone. I understand, Tessica. Let's see. City's wolves are gathering for another full moon. Indeed, I do hate those exclusion zones. I'd think a city that believes itself as advanced as London could develop an alternate solution. Neither Tessica nor I are London-born. I'd like to think that moving around so much has broadened our horizons. The Bruslavian population has never had an issue with their lycanthrope majority. A proper infrastructure in order to deal with the change. We have the infrastructure in place to keep the reek of the Tims at bay. Indeed, different problems for different cities, I suppose. Anything you've heard lately? Afraid not, Dove. But you'll be the first to know if I have anything juicy to share. Look forward to it. Tessica is always good for the latest gossip. The urchins in this city seem to be thriving. Yeah, for a certain definition at least. Why, just the other day there was quite the brouhaha over Kensington way. Oh? Indeed, seems a cupper's got into a spot of trouble with the law, but before the mutton shunter could administer the beating, some chap in a topper sent a carriage careening into the market stall. Poor barrister got his leg broken. A topper? Could be the ladsman that is taking my words to heart. Fascinating tale. Thanks for telling me. Of course, Dove. That was actually really cool. Oh, you enjoyed my streams? Might come back sometime later. Bid you luck on the case. Thank you so much. I appreciate you stopping by, and thank you so much for the follow. But this was cool. In case you don't remember or haven't been around for the whole thing, the urchins were getting beat up by the cops a lot, or picked on by the cops. And so I told this thug that he needs to protect his pickpockets. And it sounds like he did. Seems like a Christian mission's having trouble in the East End. So I've heard something about financial woes marring their Soup's Kitchen program, if I recall correctly. A shame in some ways. Think of how many souls would refrain from sin had they access to proper food. Oh, how focused artists would be on their paintings if their bellies kept quiet. An unenviable struggle, my dove. We do what we must. Best be off. Take care of yourself out there, Ginger Cake. I need to take a drink. Throat's awfully dry lately. Ooh. I think it's been a rough month for most people. I feel like everybody's been sick. Myself included. But sometimes I feel like it just it comes and goes. I've got young kids, so I'm just always sick, so no surprise here. Who's this half pint lurking by the station? Strike up a conversation. You alright there, Dove? Shouldn't you be at school, or God forbid, the workhouse? Never mind that, miss. You dropped your ring. Not wearing any rings. It's too late. I've already glanced away. Take evasive action. I instinctively bring my elbows in towards my hips, trapping her wrist within my forearm while still inside my pocket. Ah, wait, I didn't mean to. Tisk tisk, without even a trinket to misdirect me. What's your name, Dove? It's Annika. Let go. Let's not let her go. Not until you let go of the money in my pocket. Okay, I will. Not bad for a youngling. Damn it all. I just don't go peach to the bobbies about me. Wouldn't dream of it, Dove. By the by, I'm Clara Reed. Whatever you say, Clara. I bet that's a handle. Wish we hadn't met under such embarrassing circumstances. For you. I mean, but that's how it goes. Yeah, I get it. Why not show me your pickpocketing ruse? She beams with excitement the way a child does when they can display competence to an adult. She fishes out a ring. Once I get up close, I ask them if this is the ring they dropped. While they ponder, I go fishing. By the time they deny ownership, I've already cleaned them out. What if they do say that it's theirs? On top of me knowing that they's a stinking liar, I ask for a finder's reward. That usually puts them off. The ring is a silver band with a common amethyst quartz embedded in the center. The silver definitely isn't sterling, as it's begun to tarnish around the edges despite Annika's polishing. This bauble could barter a few pints at a tavern, but just barely. I found it out mudlarking. The purple gem is pretty, isn't it? I remember seeing you sniffing around Bullfrog's territory 4 years ago. I remember you too, but you had long hair then. You were the one that'd always shoo me away when I'd try to prove to the bullfrogs that I was good at pinching too. She was a persistent little thing. Had you pegged as the piss mug of the bunch, but now that I look back, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to try and join while the gang was parlor jumping a jewelry shop. Well, it's time for me to get going. Toodaloo, miss. Keep those lips sealed, if you please. She seems nice. Let's see. Were we the ones that were supposed to talk to Nandy? I've already lost track. Can't remember if it was me or Atticus. Hey, Nandy. Sawabona, Clara. How can dear Nandy be of assistance? Just browsing. I'll let you know if I need your help. Take all the time you need. Goodbye. Blessings be upon you, Clara Reed. Some cool skulls here. Sword skulls of several shapes and sizes, yet not a single creature is easily recognizable. Much used for animal animalian skeletal structures. Alright. So it's not Nandy we need to talk to. Search for more fans. Discover more about Felipe's romance. We never did do that. We should go talk to Felipe again. Olivia remains focused on the street as though I wasn't even here. Okay. Really worried that the girl Felipe liked is the one that got murdered last night. Felipe! You're not Felipe? Good day, my lady. Lovely weather for a change, isn't it? Aye, the sky was clear in the early hours. Shipments came in smooth. Best be on my way. Here's hoping the sun keeps shining on both of us. This is where Felipe is usually selling fish. Strange he isn't here. Perhaps he's busy elsewhere. I hope he wasn't caught up in whatever happened to poor Ariana last night. Ferry schedule. Here's the steam ferry leaves, where the steam ferry leaves from. No one around at the moment, only my reflection in the drab river water to keep me company. I figure, like my future is soft and wavering, it settles to settle into a certain shape. Man. Centaur Dockhound. The center Dockhound has clearly been through it. She must have a rap sheet a mile long. That was one of Molly's better qualities. She protects her flock from the law. Alright there, I'm Clara Reed, an associate of Molly's. Never seen you before. I'm usually good at spotting those who stand out. Any road, I'm Helena Bailey. Molly and I used to run, well, I'm what you might call a private contractor now. Yeah? Sounds like there's some dosh behind that. What's Molly's game these days? She started this fake charity, Queen of Spain's. It's supposed to raise money for the unemployed flu fakers, but instead, it comes straight into us. Brilliant internet. Brilliant, innit? Yeah, very clever. Look, I'm a bit busy here, you know. Seems that's all I'll get from her. I can take the train to the docks, but I can't take the docks to anywhere else. Like, if the train stops at the docks, why can't I hop on the train there? Have to run all the way here? Let's see. I think we need to go to the Palladium. Alright, time to investigate a murder. Miss Reed, why the long face? Believe it or not, Clem, I'm here to inspect a body. You're here to inspect a body? Were you secretly a police special this whole time then? Far from it, I assure you. No point in explaining to Clem how I ended up in this mess, especially when I'm unsure of the finer details myself. Listen, you know I care for all the girls here, and I know you do too. It's terrible what happened last night, right under our very noses. If only I coulda. She cuts off, shaking her head. There's nothing I can do. I know that, plain as day. But you, Lara, might just have a chance. You think so? I do. You're whip smart and you care about the girls too. Don't try and deny it. There's no one else I'd rather have on the case. Well, thank you for the vote of confidence. That's what I'm here for. Now you'd best get upstairs. Nothing to be learned hanging around here. I'm content. super content, like optimistic. Right you are, Clem. Despite being like cleaver whipped the other night. Maybe I have more of a chance to track down this killer than I thought. At least it's very good to know Clem supports my efforts. Clara, good to see you, love. Naturally, you heard about the murder and the rose. Chills the blood just thinking of it. In just a moment, I can see the tiniest crack in Lefty's cool facade. It is enough to give a lassie nightmares if she's vulnerable to that kind of thing. This is my best Irish accent. Sorry about that. I take it you're not bothered, though. Not a wee bit. I've tussled with the worst London has to offer. Though I suppose this one could set a new bar. Don't have any idea who's responsible, do you? Nay. The only thing I can for certain is that he's a barmy bastard. That's enough about that. As you wish. I'm glad I ran into you, Lefty. Take care of yourself. That's one thing you can always count on, lass. Bye now. Nothing new to look at around here. And there's Yves. Oh, and there's Lou. Glad to see you're alive. Just here collecting my things. What with the murder so close to home, Madame Zora's gonna shutter the rose a few days. You never know with Zora, she might want to get back in business as soon as possible. Poor Ariana, I can't believe the killer struck right here in the rose. Me neither, Lou. I'm gonna do whatever I can to stop the killings. Dolly's the world over would forever be in your debt. Take care of yourself, Lou. I'll see you again. Soon.